Good morning, everybody. What a inspirational session we had just before this, right? With the launch and the opportunity and potential that we've seen for Gujarat. I think we'll carry forward with that theme. And when we are talking about rural innovation and how we can really drive that innovation, we saw the example of seaweeds. How can we identify more such innovations so that we are also able to address the biggest challenge that we all face now, climate and resilience and resource consumption. We keep thinking and talking about, is India's agriculture system more water intensive? But at the same time, we've seen enough innovations in this space that makes it, we've seen precision water technologies and stuff. We keep talking about agro residue and agro waste, but this is the biggest wealth now that's been created in terms of biofuels and bio-based inputs that are coming in. So I'm very happy with a very diverse, accomplished panel that I have with me. And since we have a short time, I'll quickly get started. Maybe Dr. Shelat, if I can, invite you to share the first set of remarks. Gujarat has been amongst the most transformative state when it comes to rural development, agriculture growth. Can you share your journey, your experience and vision about how this has come through?
How much time each one of us?
So we have about 40 minutes for each one of us. So maybe we can do 2-3 minutes of interventions, and then we can try and see if we can come back for a second round.
Okay. પ્રણામ ફરીથી પ્રણામ ગુજરાતી કે ઇંગ્લિશ બંને circular economy is a western jargon. First thing we must realize, circular economy they brought because for using industrial waste or recycling city water or industrial water, they brought it about. And now talking it about as something brand new. So, pehli myth we must break is that traditionally, Indians have been following circular economy. Right? Our farming, when in 50s and 60s, was totally natural. There were no fertilizers. There were no pesticides. And then farmers were using cow dung and agro waste. અને ગુજરાતના જે બધા સમજે છે એ ઉકરડો કહેવાતો. ગામમાં દરેક ખેડૂતનો પોતાનો ઉકરડો હોય જેમાં છાણ અને ઘાસ મિક્સ કરે. Right? And that practice continues today because it is using animal husbandry output and residue of the crop. Today, with better technology, so better part of circular economy we are now talking is using technology to use it efficiently. So that is how we call it Prakrutik Kheti, with use of inputs to make cow dung more efficient, with use of inputs to make cow urine more efficient, with use of vermicide making vermicompost. So technologically, this concept is very useful to add system which we are doing. And there are number of illustrations which we can go on giving, but this is the basic area in which today, as a Prakrutik Kheti state of the country and other states of the country, we are using a complete agro waste to cow dung in the same farm and reducing climate change impact, reducing the soil deterioration and getting better product which is chemical free, healthy. Maybe in the initial year it doesn't give the same income which provides earlier, but then it matches up. So from agriculture context, I'm talking about circular economy. Otherwise, in 1970s, when we set up Vapi industrial area, we had a pollution control system and we had a processing center where pollutions were treated. And out of that treatment, the useful minerals were taken out and again used. So this concept is already prevalent. Not that it is new, we have to use advanced technology to make it more efficient and bring it to the wastewater of the villages now because we have piped water supply. We have already projects of wastewater. In Gujarat, we have briquettes. We are using agro waste to convey. We have 200 units of briquettes, which is used as a fuel. So that can expand to solve the problems of the rest of the area's countries. And I can go on giving endless examples, but I will stop here so that other speakers can speak. Thank you.
થેન્ક યુ શેલાત સાહેબ અને બહુ મસ્ત આપણું જર્ની રહી છે ગુજરાતની સો યુ નો આઈ થિંક વી શુડ કોંગ્રેચ્યુલેટ what the state has done. Thank you so much. I'll now come to Dr. Kalamkar. You've done some amazing research, you and your team, in terms of resource economics, agriculture transformation, organic farming, circular economy. What, according to you, sir, are 3 or 4 key levers that farmers can apply so that we can increase farm incomes, non-farm incomes? We can also make agriculture more resilient and sustainable. If you could share your thoughts and share some evidence from your research as well.
Hello. Yeah. Thank you, Vivek ji. So, good morning to one and all. At the outset, let me thank the NABARD for giving me an opportunity to share the dais with such as the dignitary personals over here. Before answering to the question, I'll take a half a minute to brief about the Agro-Economic Research Center at Sardar Patel University in Vallabh which is the part of the Ministry of Agriculture, Government of India, and working together with the Department of Economics and put forth many such useful findings and helpful in policy making at the national and international levels. Now coming back to the question, how the farmers will opt for going for making the farming more profitable, that too in a conservative manner in terms of looking for the circular economy as such. As respected Shelat sir had mentioned, Indian agriculture is so interconnected that cannot get separated along separately as we have been seen in the developed countries. We have been using the animal husbandry, which has been interconnected with the agriculture as such. And when we talk about going back to that phase, we need to go by the phase wise of that. Today, agriculture is the crossroad. We have been facing the problem of climate change. We are already in the water scarcity region. And that too, we are having the problem of making the farmers to get the renewable prices. Now, having said this, the farming system in India has trying to develop now in a way of a collective nature. So the farmers collectives, maybe it is called the FPOs, I would say more in collectives in the sense that it should not be the group which look forward to be registration interns. They work together in order to pool the resources together, in order to pool the responsibility together, and to fetch the better market prices for the produce they have along with the value addition which they have been having. For example, one of the such of the farmers collectives is there in Nagpur, in a district where we have visited, and that concept note which we have shared with the PMO office also. I think farmers should go with producing the produce which they can go for the value addition rather than depending on the market. Having a group together, producing the crop produce and going to the APMC market will not get the benefit of as such their collectivization. And second, they should not focus on the input market as such. They should be post-harvest logistics, which will make them to stand on with their own alone, along with the segregation of the produce as per the need of the consumer, branding it, trying to store it, and maybe the export is also there. So this area, our FPOs and NABARD has really done the fantastic job in the beginning of supporting the FPOs. Recently also they have been doing. Along with that, I feel our farmers should go for a training aspect, which KVK in state agriculture universities and also like NCC, SD has also been doing the training programs, which Professor Kirit Shelat has started with Krishim also. I think they should get participated in order to now capture the global market through making the value addition in their projects. So I'll get back to the other one round also.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Kalamkar. And I think as we hear, the power of collectives, FPOs, networks, cooperatives has always helped India and helped our rural economy prosper. What we are now increasingly seeing is also the presence of agri entrepreneurs and rural entrepreneurs. And maybe Nitin, if I can come to you, uh, very interesting attire, and maybe you could share a little more about that as well. But you've been running the Narmada Prerna Yatra. You've been talking to a lot of entrepreneurs, and you've been engaging at the grassroots level. What are these real world examples that you are seeing, and where is the passion coming in from? If you could share some thoughts.
खुश मॉर्निंग एवरीवन, आई एम नितिन फ्रॉम भरूच नर्मदा। और मैं एक छोटी सी पहल नर्मदा प्रेरणा यात्रा की शुरुआत की है, तो जिसके माध्यम द्वारा हम युवाओं को जो ग्रास रूट्स पे सोशल एंटरप्रेन्योर्स हो रहे हैं, हु आर कंट्रीब्यूटिंग टू द जो सर्कुलर इकोनॉमी हम जो बोल रहे हैं अभी जो वर्ड, तो कैसे कुछ एग्जांपल्स में देना चाहूँगा। जैसे एक गीताबेन करके 5वीं कक्षा पास महिला है, जिन्होंने राजपीपला के भदाम के पास एक छोटा सा बनाना वेफर का बिजनेस स्टार्ट किया था। तो पहले तो वहाँ पे जो फार्मर्स थे उनको वैल्यूज़ नहीं मिल रही थी, बट सी थॉट दैट कि वहाँ पे काफ़ी सारा फार्मिंग हो रहा है बनाना का, और काफ़ी विडो वुमन थी वहाँ के नज़दीक के विलेजेस में, तो जिनको आफ्टर गेटिंग बिकमिंग विडो उनका लाइफ काफ़ी पैथेटिक हो गया था। तो उन्होंने बोला क्या किया जा सकता है, तो छोटा सा एक लाइवलीहुड अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ उन्होंने स्टार्ट किया बनाना वेफर बिजनेस से, जिससे फार्मर्स को उनका बनाना का वैल्यू मिल रहा है, महिलाओं को एक उद्यमिता द्वारा उनको रोजगार मिल रहा है, और कहीं ना कहीं जो वेस्ट भी होता है उसको भी वो खाद में परिवर्तन कर रहे हैं। तो एक सर्कुलर इकोनॉमी का काफ़ी अच्छा एग्जाम्पल है, छोटा सा है बट देश, और जो भी एक्सपोर्ट हो रहा है वो भी लोकल मार्केट में ही कर रहे हैं वो लोग बनाना वेफर्स। तो एक काफ़ी अच्छा एग्जाम्पल वो रहा है। दूसरा, मेरे एक दोस्त थे भरूच के पास गांव में, तो ही इज़ फ्रॉम फिनांस MBA लंदन में किया था, ही रिटर्न बैक टू भरूच, और उन्होंने छोटा सा गौशाला शुरुआत की है गिर गाय की। एक गाय से शुरुआत करके आज 100 जितने प्योर गिर गाय वहाँ पे है, और जिसके द्वारा तकरीबन 150 जितनी प्रोडक्ट्स बना रहे हैं। महिलाओं को प्रोडक्ट्स बनाने के लिए रोजगार भी दे रहे हैं, जो खाद आती है उसको भी अपने नेचुरल फार्मिंग में यूज़ कर रहे हैं। और उन्होंने पंचगव्य चिकित्सा केंद्र वहाँ पे, इस यूनिक चिकित्सा केंद्र ऑफ गुजरात, जहाँ पे गौ आधारित पूरी सिस्टम बनाई हुई है। तो ऐसे काफ़ी सारे हम सामाजिक उद्यमी को मिल रहे हैं जो दे आर क्रिएटिंग इन वन और अदर वे द सर्कुलर इकोनॉमी। तो ऐसे काफ़ी सारे एग्जाम्पल्स और भी हैं, दैट विल टेक इट फॉरवर्ड। या थैंक यू।
परफेक्ट। और नितिन, आई थिंक जो आप बता रहे हो ग्रास रूट लेवल पे, शायद ही सारे लोगों को पता है, एंड समटाइम्स इट्स ऑलवेज हेल्पफुल to showcase these case studies or these successful examples so that others can get inspired and learn a lot more. But whenever we think about entrepreneurship or building a venture or supporting these innovation system, we always have a very important lever on financing, that kind of okay, how do we solve this for? And for that, maybe Mahesh, if I come to you, आपने गिफ्ट सिटी में हब में सेटअप करा है, एंड you've been developing some of the most advanced tools to help these entrepreneurs, mid-sized companies, SMEs, FPOs to think about alternative finance, green bonds, sustainability linked bonds. ये जो भी alternate financing routes है, they require a lot of process, reporting, all of that complications. How are you making it easy? And if you can share with us, what this journey is about as well.
Yeah, thanks Vivek for asking that. And thanks Earth Summit for giving us an opportunity to share our views. See, we are the 4th largest economy, but it's also true that we are the 7th most vulnerable country when it comes to climate risk. And major reason why it is attributed to, like we are the most populous country, 46% of which dependent on agriculture. So the risk is more when it comes because of the large 11,000 kilometer of coastal lines. So there is another serious risk, one layer, wherein only 1% of our climate assets projects compared to the $6 trillion worth assets of in the world, the GSS plus globally aligned climate assets, only 1% of our India's climate assets are aligned with the global standards. So what does that mean? This means for the global investors, the global capital to flow into India, there are the investors at a risk of greenwashing. So this is precisely what we are solving on the climate capital market platform, wherein we are in the mission of aligning India's climate assets, projects, and portfolios with that of global standards like CBI, Climate Bonds Initiative, ICMA, the International Capital Market Association standards. So how the FPOs, as Vivek mentioned, it's directly to fund an FPO. The cost is very higher because it has to the bond has to be given to an institution like NABARD or SFAC or NCDC, where they can raise bonds at a very concessional rate, and in turn, these institutions which are providing concessional finance, credit guarantees, or grants for the FPOs, they can in turn align with the respective FPOs through by way of the agricultural universities and the KVK Krishi Vigyan Kendra. So they can educate at the grassroots level to how to align
Mahesh. And I think with finance possibly solved, the entrepreneur and the FPO ecosystem kind of taken care of, the next big thing is about technology, staffing, resources, capabilities. So Mr. Thacker, if I can come to you, you've your journey as a scientist and your journey in terms of now really getting into this academy and building skills in the space at a time where India is building its own hardware infra and trying to localize semiconductors, manufacturing, chip technology. If I can talk to you about, how do we bring this new age chip, semiconductor, these technology interventions to farming, and what kind of capabilities build that we are able to, transform our people around. If you could share your thoughts.
Thank you, Vivek, for the most relevant questions you ask for the today national building. And thank you, first of all, NABARD and the organizer to give the chance to be a participant in this event where really the India needs in this situation the rural economy. So I think circular economy and the climate and all experts, they have talked. So I will be more focusing on the innovation of the word. That's in my journey of 38 years in ISRO. We have done a lot of projects for the agriculture, for the rural, for the animal husbandry and all. But the question which Vivek ji asked, that how we can develop through innovation the rural economy. So our main interest, I think, whatever I will be talking here, that I have demonstrated as a startup, we have put one project here that is village on chip. So what village needs, smart village needs. Now we have focus on the smart cities, but what is our project is more focus on the how we can make the village smart. So that is one thing is irrigation. See, we in a renewable energy, we cannot produce. The law of energy conservation says that we can't produce the energy. It's a transformation of energy one form to another. So what we need to do is the saving. ગુજરાતીમાં આપણે કહેતા હતા ત્રેવડ ત્રીજો ભાઈ છે. એટલે we cannot produce, but we need to save the water, we need to save the energy. So how we can save that? That's what we have demonstrated. First thing is we have made the one system where we can measure the humidity of the soil, we can measure the temperature of the soil, we can measure the TDS of the water, of the agriculture. And if humidity of the soil goes beyond 30%, automatically system will get on, it will start the pump, and the irrigation system will start. So this is where we can save the 30 to 40% of the electricity as well as the water. That's what is needed of the hour for the agriculture. Same time, we have developed through satellite, this program we have developed during, I think, when our beloved Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has taken up in 2014. Then all the department of the government, central government, were asked to use the ISRO technology. In that process, we have developed one mobile one, which was having a hybrid communication, terrestrial as well as satellite. So in the remote villages like Dag and all, still they don't have a landline or that BSNL connectivity. So we used to go there and connect with the APMC locally through satellite. We used to give them the data. So this kind of a project we have done that time. So I think using this kind of a technology, we can definitely, and there are many other things we can do for the village, like animal. Today the problem is manpower, and how we can manage that manpower with using IoT, our AI, then semiconductor and space technology. The whole demonstration, I think I request everyone to just see that demonstrated, that whole village, how we can put it on the single chip and that becomes a smart. So we have demonstrated lively. So I think action speaks louder than the words. Thank you.
Lovely, and again, big round of applause here, and we'd love to see the demonstration. So thank you for sharing that. Dr. Shelat, if I come back to you for a second round, you've heard what's happening across the network of FPOs, entrepreneurs on the financing and on the technology side. What is your vision now going forward? How do we bring all of this together, and how do we make this like a model state and show rest of the world कि આપણે આ કરી શકીએ છીએ અને we can do that in a most sustainable manner, but also increase income for our farmers and our entire ecosystem?
હું એ વાત કરું પહેલાં એસએફટીમાંથી ગિરીશભાઈ છે, શ્રોફ ફાઉન્ડેશન ટ્રસ્ટમાંથી નથી. એનીવે, this is a project happened due to local initiative. So when you are talking about vision across the country, we have 100,000 hectares of land under mines. So if we use, because water is already getting accumulated there, and they are khaddas. So that kind of vision, this group has to develop. Each one of you can think like that. Another small example is rivers for the housewife. Gharni andar, you are getting fruits, vegetables, and when you cut, residues are there. When you clean it up, residues there. My wife, what he does is, matlu, you understand matlu? With a chakli, so water comes out from bottom. Understand everybody? He puts in that water the vegetable residue, allows it for 3-4 days, and does it for the plants in the kitchen garden. And it is a fertilizer. So like that of circular economy, we have to look the examples we have. Question is transferring it on a large scale basis. How do we use the modern technology of AI and social media together to multiply such example which are across. You can give, again, we are talking about seaweed, but I'm not repeating, he can share. Okay, seaweed is treated as a trash and Dwarka coast bar kachro ave, તો municipality ને એને માટે ટ્રક રાખવું પડે કે આ સીવીડનો કચરો લઈ જાય. મોહમ્મદ અને અજીત કરીને બે ભાઈઓએ ડ્રાય કર્યું, નાનું મશીન એનું ક્રશ કરવાના લઈ આ 45 રૂપિયા પર કેજી મળે છે. So like that, these are examples and all of you must have number of such examples. Question is, who will multiply it? So what we are looking as the output of this session, to my mind, is that it is a knowledge economy available with each one of us. Question is, how do we share this knowledge economy from one sector to another sector or within the same sector so that mass of people can adopt it? And what kind of mechanism with organization like NABARD or the government departments or non-government NGOs, expert scientists who are sitting here, we can multiply. Thank you.
Thank you. I think all of us in this room will take the challenge of multiplying and sharing and showcasing some of these examples and scaling solutions. But when we talk about multiplying, maybe let me start with the academia, skill building, things first. So maybe Mr. Thaker and Mr. Kalamkar, Dr. Kalamkar, how do we follow up on the challenge that has been laid out to us? How do we scale, multiply, transfer these skills? Any thoughts there?
This is what is the basic things. Basically, I think we want to build any infrastructure. What we need is a base, basically. The base should be strong. So what is important is the base of the students, I think, should be strong enough. I talked that one of my friend, he was working with ISRO with me, and now he's a chief architecture of one of the GPU in US. So for AI, what they have done is they have not recruited any electronics engineer or anyone. They have first recruited 150 mathematics PhD. So what is needed is the base. Base is maths and science. On that, like Vivek, on the basis of that, the main semiconductor and now deep technology needs the more investment towards the manpower. Because whole war in the world is now intellectual. See, any war is not going to be on ground. It will be through satellite. If you see last few wars or even our Sindoor operation. So what we need is our indigenous technology, and for that we need to develop the manpower. So with 38 years of my experience in ISRO and 1.5 years with private Sarabhai's firm, what I thought is, I think Gujarat needs lot of development, skill development for the semiconductor, for the space, and for the advanced technology.
Got it.
So my objective to foundation of Saptarshi Advanced Technology Private Limited was two. One was to develop the students, and mainly my focus is on the rural.
Got it.
Okay, now, so that I need to develop them for the advanced technology, and they don't need much of a knowledge for that. They need an intention for that. And second, they should have that empathy for the village and rural. I think now rural students also wants to go to the corporate sector only. So we need to develop, I think socially also we need to develop that, and skill-wise, we are there. We are putting our best. We have started 17 various courses in semiconductor, and one of the course, semiconductor for space, is the first time in world. We are starting.
Got it.
So now that has to be utilized properly, and intellectual property. Nowadays, if we see the Taiwan or China's economy, see now Tata is coming, Tata Foundry is coming here. But what we need is, we need a feed for that foundry. So around that, we need to have at least 100 fabless design houses. And they need the manpower, and Saptarshi Advanced Technology, we are very much focused and we are putting very hard efforts, but unfortunately, we are not getting that much response. So
Lovely. So I understand. So maybe availability of design houses, access to advanced technologies, passion that can be generated within the workforce, and I think some of that we'll take, and we'll continue on these conversations.
So my one sentence, last conclusion.
Yes.
The statement what Vivekanand ji made, okay, give me 100 energetic young men, I can transform the India.
Yeah.
The same sentence with 1-2 modification, give us 100 energetic for the advanced technology intention. I think we can change the India at least, and we can be the global player.
Lovely, lovely. And Dr. Kalamkar, quickly, if I come to you on your thoughts about how do we scale, transform?
Sir, we are now looking forward to be the develop India by 2047.
Right.
Now we have to now track down the issues which need to be addressed at present, because our food production and food consumption system is not in sustainable manner. More than 75 million tons of food is being wasted every year, mainly because of having the less post-harvest storage as well as processing, and that too in consumption pattern, wrong behavior approach by the Indians. India being a populous country in the world, actually we need to focus that we should be self-reliant, as we are spending more on oil seeds and the pulses imports, which we need to focus today, otherwise we will be in the doldrum in the futures to come. Now, this has to be happen. Already we have started grouping our farmers in the group as we have discussed earlier. However, we need to focus that how this dynamics and data driven can be help them in order to see that there should be a approach as per the region specific. Now, one fit for all strategy cannot be go. We need to demonstrate it differently and different phases. Like circular economy, which we talk about, though the rural areas been addressing this issue, urban area is not been doing that way. Second, we need to see that, as sir has mentioned about the technology used in agriculture. Our agriculture, which has been having a technology intervention, need to be cost effective, feasibility, and post-sale support should be there. My experiences on the fields shows that whatever the intervention we have been making, we are losing the end of making this post-sale support, their feedback, improvement, and getting back to again that sector. We just lose the end. Cooperative, it is a collective and community based would be more appropriate word, so that we can be the try to go the aim which we have been already. Thank you so
Perfect.
much.
Thank you. And I think, quickly I'll come to you, Nitin and Mahesh, to the challenge that Dr. Shelat has set out. We've got some answers on, shared infra, access to technologies, building passion, and then about connecting with markets, supporting the networks, doing the cost economics. Nitin, how does your journey and Yatra fit into it, and what would you add to the two things that we've already heard from Mr. Thakkar and Dr. Kalamkar?
Yeah, so according to me, basically, if you really want to promote circular economy, so we have to focus on social entrepreneurship at the grassroots, which we are doing. तो ऐसे काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें अपार्ट फ्रॉम फार्मिंग ऑल्सो लाइक वी वर्क विद द आर्टिजन्स एट द ग्रास रूट्स. तो भरूच का एक एग्जांपल सुजनी आर्ट है हमारा 150 years old आर्ट विच वॉज ऑलमोस्ट डाइंग एंड आई ट्राई टू एंकरेज देम. तो आज वो डाइंग आर्ट वापस जिंदा है. उनका जो यूथ थे उनको वी ट्राई टू इंस्पायर देम टू गेट बैक इनटू दैट आर्ट्स. और अभी वो काफ़ी GI टैग, दे गॉट द GI टैग एंड ऑल. दे आर क्रिएटिंग एम्प्लॉयमेंट ऑल्सो, दे आर कंट्रीब्यूटिंग टू द सर्कुलर इकोनॉमी. ये जो मैंने जैकेट पहना है दैट इज बीइंग गिफ्टेड बाय द सुजनी आर्टिजन. इज 150 years old आर्ट. रजाई जो होती है उससे उन्होंने बनाया हुआ है. जैसे whenever we are talking about circular economy, it's not just about the farming and all, but there are so many other things at the grassroots happening. आप डांग्स में जाइए तो there's वर्ली आर्ट, they are doing amazing. I work with a few artisans there. डांग के ट्राइबल महिलाओं के साथ हमने काम किया था. तो रागी का हमने बेकरी वहाँ पे बना के दिया है. तो they are selling that. there are so many amazing things happening at the grassroots. तो और रूरल इकोनॉमी को बूस्टअप करना है तो जहाँ तक मैं समझ रहा हूँ तो युवाओं को, जो गांव के युवा है, उनको प्रेरित करना पड़ेगा हमें सामाजिक उद्यमिता. जो सर ने बताया कि दे आर लाइक गोइंग फॉर द कॉर्पोरेट जॉब्स बट दे आर नॉट हैपिंग. आई माई सेल्फ वॉज लाइक born and brought up at the Rajpipla, and I studied from Triple IT Bangalore. I done BTech from DDIT. I was in Europe, worked with several multinational startups in Europe and American startups. But right now I'm working with the villages of my own region, Narmada. बट कहीं ना कहीं वो अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ लोगों को दिख नहीं रही. तो एक ऐसा माध्यम हमें देना पड़ेगा ऐसी कॉन्फ्रेंस के द्वारा, या जो युवाओं को प्रेरित करे. एक सर्कुलर इकोनॉमी एग्जैक्टली क्या है और कैसे वो हमारी इकोनॉमी को, देश की इकोनॉमी को कैसे आगे बढ़ा सकती है, उसके लिए कुछ नॉलेज देना पड़ेगा, तभी जाके वो जुड़ेगी देश से और जड़ों से.
Perfect. I think a platform to showcase is another addition. So thank you for that. Mahesh, we've heard about all these different solutions, but individually maybe, it's very difficult to implement. And where do you see the role of, say, institutions like NABARD or these academia or these partnerships in accessing the financing that we've been talking about? And is there a play there? Should everybody try it out on their own, or should we aggregate it with, large institutions and work through them?
As the sir mentioned about he gave a fantastic example of how these big chip companies, they first caught hold of 150 mathematicians. So like that, we need to build a brand of climate entrepreneurs in our country. How that has to be done? The bankable, scalable, profitable agricultural practices need to be scaled. So, these entrepreneurs should be trained on financial literacy, how to raise capital at different levels. Because climate finance is a different ball game altogether. Because we need bankable, scalable technologies backed by assets so that the bank can fund it, meaning 2-3 years of track record of finance. On the other hand, the climate itself it's a physical thing. We have to build physical technologies to go out there and execute it and ensure that the emission is reduced or eliminated. So to that to happen, even the VC fund, typically VC funds are also they typically back software products. To build prototypes on a physical products, you need a lot of capital. So that's where NABARD and our institutions can bank these scalable technologies to ensure that it reaches. If we able to do that in the turbulent world of geopolitics currently, we may become a food basket of this world, and that is an edge we can have on the world.
Lovely,
Yeah.
lovely. I think we'll strive for that vision, and we'll try to scale our actions in such a manner that we'll become the food basket of the world. We are almost at time. I've got enough warnings here, but I'll indulge the panel one last time. If you had to just give all of us one word takeaway that we can go back and imbibe into our day-to-day lives, I'll just ask each one of you to just close this panel with just one word, or maybe maximum two.
Climate entrepreneurship.
Climate entrepreneurship, sir. Mr. Thacker.
Technology for the ruler.
Technology for the rural. Dr. Shelat.
I simply say, let us request all our TV channels and FM radios.
Okay.
आप एडवर्टाइजमेंट सबकी करते हैं, तो वेस्ट कैसे रिड्यूस कराया जाए उसका आप मैसेज दीजिए फ्री ऑफ चार्ज.
Perfect.
So that will be great transformation, because that is what we need, because people listen to radios, people listen to the TV, people listen to the YouTube. So whether we can give such examples free of charge and motivate them to do it, it will be a great task.
Perfect. Right communication. Dr. Kalamkar.
Yeah, only 2 points.
Yes.
One
or two words very quickly.
only,
I know
yeah.
we have to close the
One,
panel.
like having
Yeah.
yes. Integrated policy mix. We need to go for integrated policy mix.
Integrated policy.
mix.
Nitin.
And last one,
Okay.
we need education, as sir said, regarding the consumption and the disposal of a waste.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah. social entrepreneurship and minimalism.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a big round of applause for all our wonderful panel. I'm sure we've learned amazing things, and please be in touch with them during the breaks to interact more. Thank you again.
Mr. Adhia, for very good conducting session, and thank you, NABARD, for organizing this.